morning, Bulldog fans, and welcome to another edition of UNC Asheville Bulldog Update. Hi, I'm Mike Gore, and along with head men's basketball coach Nick McDevitt. Coach, we've had a busy week with 3 games. Bulldogs at 1-4, but playing some great competition, and the Bulldogs are battling despite the injuries, are playing some tough teams, and we finally got that first win last Friday against College of Charleston.
Yeah, as you mentioned, I think it's been a tough road so far as being on the road. Lots of road games, and we're finding out more and more about our team. Some of our young players get a lot of valuable minutes right now, so we're excited about where our team's headed.
Bulldogs pick up their first win, an overtime win against a very good College of Charleston team last Friday night, 67-58. Going into that game, you found out some bad news that sophomore forward Will Weeks, a member of last year's big Southall rookie team, going to be down for a while with a knee injury, but boy, the guys responded well.
They did. Not good news on Will Weeks. Feel bad for that young man. He put in a lot of hard work in the off season. Looking forward to this year, and so he may be out for quite some time here. But in his absence, we had some players that have stepped up and are really playing well over the last couple of games.
All right, let's go to the highlights. UNC Asheville and College of Charleston down at TD Bank Arena. Bulldogs and the Cougars squaring off here. DJ Cunningham had a great game. Really played well down the stretch for the Bulldogs. There's a tap in for him. And what a Andrew Rousey. He really delighted the crowd down there. Well, I don't say delighted, but had a great game with 23 points.
Both of those young men are playing well. DJ's been a force for us inside so far in the year, and Andrew obviously is a great shooter. There we were able to break their press. We stayed organized in our press attack, and did a great job.
Bulldogs built an 11-point lead at halftime against the Cougars before College of Charleston came back and went up by 3, but the Bulldogs would not relent, Coach. That's what I was so impressed. The crowd roaring, you're down 3, and you came back and took the lead again.
Several big buckets in a row by Corey Littlejohn and Jerron Lane. Those were big buckets, and this possession being the last one of the game, right there, we wanted the game was either going into overtime or we win. We were definitely going to take the last shot. We did a nice job with our pace, and DJ scores the first bucket of overtime to kind of set the tone for those last 5 minutes.
Yeah, the Cougars had come back to tie the game with the final 5 points, but the Bulldogs had the extra energy in overtime. As Andrew Rousey with a big jumper.
Big block towards the end by DJ to kind of help seal the victory for us. That was a big block, and then here with the last possession, great win for us down at the College of Charleston.
Bulldogs 7 of 8 from the free throw line down the stretch, Coach, and it was 1-and-1 free throws. You guys got fouled and had to step up, make 1-and-1s, and you had a bunch of different guys do it. Andrew Rousey was 4 of 4. Jerron Lane made some big free throws at the end of regulation and also in overtime. DJ Cunningham stepped up. I just really liked our poise down the stretch in a tough environment.
Great team win. As you said, we showed poise, showed composure. That was a tough environment, over 4,000 fans, a quality opponent. As good as any team will face throughout the year, could win. They're one of the favorites to win the Cullowhee Athletic Association this year. Would be a top-level team in the Big South of the SoCon, so great win for us.
Jerron Lane, 13 points, all in the second half. Even in the first half when he was struggling offensively, he was playing good defense and doing some good job rebounding. We just have to be patient with Jerron, and you can see him that the rush is starting to wear off. In the second half, he was really a factor.
Absolutely. Jerron is a talented player, hasn't played in 20 months until the first game of the year this year, and so he's going to be a big part of who we are this year, and looking forward to seeing his continued development.
And DJ Cunningham, close to a triple-double, and maybe might have gotten it. I thought he might have gotten shafted on a couple block shots. 12 points, 10 rebounds, 6 block shots, and as we talked about a little bit afterwards with Nate Ross and stuff, he might have only got credit for 6, but he altered a whole bunch.
He did. He was a big factor in that game, not only on the offensive end, but as you said, defensively. Blocked a lot of shots, altered a lot of shots, and just did a fantastic job being a big force inside.
I thought his rebounding was especially effective down the stretch. One of the reasons Charles was able to get back in the game is they got a lot of second shots in the first 10 minutes, and then DJ, I think he had like 3 rebounds with about 10 minutes to go in regulation, and then he ended up with, and he got 7. Just seemed every big rebound we had to have down the stretch, he got it for us.
He did, and he's going to have to do that. We're going to have to help him in that area. With a guy like Will Weeks out, Marcus Neely being out, those are 2 guys that have done a great job in their careers so far here at Asheville, being able to get big rebounds. So we'll have to continue to help DJ as the season goes along.
And also Jaleel Roberts and Chudia Paul come off the bench and gave you some good minutes as well.
They did. We're continuing to develop depth both in the front court and in the back court. And, you can't play with five. And fortunately, we don't just have five on the team, so we're continuing to get good contributions for everybody on the team.
All right, after that game, the Bulldogs went up to Duke for the first 2 rounds of the preseason NIT. We'll have highlights of those games right after this.
It's the best time of the year. It's time for UNC Asheville Bulldog basketball. UNC Asheville's legacy is what drives us and brings us to the dawn of a new era. Bring your family to watch exciting NCAA men's and women's basketball. Tickets are affordable. Get your tickets now because it's your city and your team.
If you sometimes take the long route just to see what you might discover, if you enjoy finding the art in science and the science in art, if you want to design a career and not just find a job, if you won't give up until you figure it out, then we have just the place for you. University of North Carolina, Asheville.
Welcome back to UNC Asheville Bulldog Update. I'm Mike Gore, joined by head men's basketball coach Nick McDevitt. And Nick, the Bulldogs for the 3rd straight year are invited to an in-season prestigious tournament. 2 years ago was the Bahamas. Last year was Puerto Rico. And this year the preseason NIT. And they sent us to, I read somewhere, the toughest bracket, the East bracket, as we had Duke, East Carolina, Norfolk State. And we had the pleasure of playing 4th-ranked Duke in that bracket. And Coach, but there is something about a program to be invited to these tournaments.
Absolutely. It's something that as we recruit the young men that we're recruiting, they want to play in games like that. Our current players, it helps them develop, gets us a chance to compare ourselves both individually and as a team to players such as Jabari Parker. With the Kentucky game, the Julius Randles, you compare yourself to future professional players, and it gets us a chance to continue to compare our teams to elite programs.
You know, I played the Duke Blue Devils in the first round, a game televised by ESPNU, Coach, and Duke wins 91-55. But some good things emerged in that game. I just thought the play of Sam Hughes. You know, Sam is starting in place of Will Weeks. Sam did some good things in that Charleston game, but he really didn't, as you talked about, didn't look at all or anything like that. He was ready to go. 16 points. Him and Jabari Parker had a nice shootout there in the first half and everything, and he really competed and played well.
He did. We had a nice game from Sam. Had a nice game from David Robertson and also Jaleel Roberts. Those 3 young men are going to be a big factor for our team going forward.
You know, the stat sheet looks like Andrew Rousey had a tough game at 2 points, had a tough time shooting. But you talked about afterwards that he really played a pretty good floor game with 3 assists, only 2 turnovers against that Duke defense. I mean, Duke was determined to stop Andrew Rousey, and though he didn't score as much, he still had a solid game.
Andrew's a great scorer. Scored a lot of points in high school, and so far in his short career here at Asheville has scored a lot of points. But we continue to talk to him about playing the game the right way, and in games where he doesn't score a lot, he can still play well. And in the games where he does score a lot, he can play great. And I thought Andrew, although he didn't score a lot of points against Duke, because they've got big, athletic, quick guards, and you could see that they were focused on stopping Andrew. But as you mentioned, for him to be our primary ball handler, to play 34, 35 minutes and only have 2 turnovers, I was proud of the way he played.
All right, let's look at the highlights from Duke and UNC Asheville as the Bulldogs going to Cameron Indoor Stadium for the 2nd time. A sellout crowd on hand at Cameron. Bulldogs win the tip. And Coach, one thing we'll talk about Duke just a little bit as we get a 3-pointer there from Sam Hughes. Jabari Parker is not bad.
He's a great talent, great player, and the Duke program has a lot of terrific players and have over the past several decades, and this year's team is no exception.
But there is a nice move there by Sam Hughes along the baseline, Coach. And like I said, I just was so impressed. And here's Sam making play of the day over the Duke ball boy.
Sam had a terrific game. That was an unusual play, but really did a nice job in there for us. A great finish here by Jaleel Roberts. He's continuing to get better and better each and every day.
Bulldogs forced Duke into a season-high 15 turnovers. Asheville with 10 steals in the game.
It's another great move by Sam, just being on balance, showing some composure there, and a nice finish. And again, David Robertson, a freshman, continuing to play well. 2 great baskets by him. His best basketball is in front of him for sure.
And David had a season-high 12 points when he stepped off the bench and played well.
That's a shot right there by Jaleel Roberts. He's continued to work on his mid-range game. Obviously, we want him being productive around the basket first and foremost, but he's continuing to do a nice job away from the basket as well.
Jaleel just seems to get better and better with each game. You can just see his confidence getting more and more.
And that only comes with playing time. You have to be able to get out there and play through your mistakes, learn from them, and continue to get better.
Things don't get easier the next night as you play the defending MEAC champions Norfolk State, who are coming off just a heartbreaking loss for them, up 17 with 7.5 minutes left to go against East Carolina. They were really looking forward to playing Duke, but East Carolina makes a great comeback to win the game by 2. Norfolk State thought they had tied the game, but had a basket waved off. But this was a very good team that 2 years ago went to the NCAA tournament as a 15th seed. And I don't know how they got a 15th seed. That's another story. Knocked off Missouri, one of the biggest upsets that year and stuff, and they went unbeaten in the MEAC last year before being upset in their conference tournament, and then are picked to win it. This was a good team the Bulldogs played Tuesday night.
Norfolk State's a very good basketball team. They've got a lot of veteran leadership, senior and junior heavy, and as you mentioned, went 16-0 last year in their league. And I don't care what league you're in or what level you play at, to go undefeated in your own conference is quite a feat.
All right, let's look at the highlights from that game as UNC Asheville took on Norfolk State in the second round of the preseason NIT at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Bulldogs got a good start with the Jaron Lane three-pointer. Bulldogs had 5 players in double figures in this game as Norfolk State built a pretty good lead early in the game with 13 straight points, and Asheville was just coming back, but they could never quite get over the hump, but also Norfolk State couldn't put the Bulldogs away either.
I thought our guys did a nice job again. They were a big athletic team, have, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of veterans, 2 guards in Pendarvis Williams and Malcolm Hawkins, both first-team all-conference preseason selections. Pendarvis Williams is a player of the year in that league, so I thought we did a nice job of battling with those players.
And the Bulldogs did a great job on the boards, 41-22 edge, and kind of kept the Bulldogs in it. Andrew Rousey, though, had a tough start, but then really came alive in the second half with his shooting. Also, David Robertson, he had a career high of 12 against Duke and lasted 1 game with 13 points.
Again, he's doing a nice job. That was another big shot right there. He's continuing to get better and better, as I mentioned earlier.
Bulldogs, again, kept creeping back in the game and stuff. Sam Hughes, a big second half, tied his career high against Duke with 16 points, and really just loved the way he competed, Coach, yet again.
Love to see those 2 young men right there in Cunningham and Hughes battling on the boards. They're starting to play well with each other. We've had to move Sam Hughes from the small forward position to the power forward position with Weeks' injury, and he's doing a really nice job.
Bulldogs have a chance to tie here late, but a couple shots just don't go in. Bulldogs get a timeout here.
I just didn't feel like right there as we were pressing the ball up the floor that we were going to get a good look. After the missed free throw, I wanted to push the ball to see if we could get something easy in transition. Once that didn't play out, decided to call timeout. We had a shot there at the end off the baseline out of bounds play, and they did a nice job defending it. The first time got a tip ball by their 7-foot center. The play was actually open, and they just give them credit. The guy made a nice defensive play.
And another game in the NIT. We appreciate them sending it up to Rhode Island. 2 tough games. Rhode Island on Monday night at 7:30, and then East Carolina at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. 2 tough games, Coach.
2 very tough games. Again, on the road. an Atlantic 10 opponent in Rhode Island, and a Conference USA opponent in East Carolina. So going to be a tough week, but again, we're continuing to get better. We're continuing to see a lot of development by our younger players as well as our veterans. So I'm really excited about the growth of our team, and this is only going to make us better for the long haul.
Okay, we'll be back with more in UNC Asheville Bulldog Update right after this timeout.
These are the sultans of shirts versus skins, the graceful gods of imaginary buzzer beaters, where win or go home means a walk through the garage, and your shining moment is spelled H-O-R-S-E. Welcome to the dance, Cinderella, and let the madness begin. Ingles, your official sponsor of Driveway Basketball.
Zaxby's, indescribably good.
It's the best time of the year. It's time for UNC Asheville Bulldog Basketball. UNC Asheville's legacy is what drives us and brings us to the dawn of a new era. Bring your family to watch exciting NCAA men's and women's basketball. Tickets are affordable. Get your tickets now because it's your city and your team.
Welcome back to UNC Asheville Bulldog Update. I'm joined by head women's basketball coach Brenda Mock Kirkpatrick. Coach, Bulldogs are 2-2 on the season, 2 great wins at home over Furman and Eastern Kentucky, 2 tough losses on the road. Bulldogs are developing with each game, aren't they?
Well, absolutely, Mike. I mean, it's a process, and we knew that going in with such a youthful team and only one senior who's actually not on the courts. But it's also our choice and how quickly we grow. You know, we can continue to, take the long road, or we can take the short road and get better in a hurry. And I hope that, collectively we can get better in a hurry. And we've learned a lot. We learned a lot from last week's loss to Wofford, and then obviously losing to Western on Wednesday night. A lot that we've learned from that. And we'll take into our next game against Central.
Bulldogs have a great win on Saturday night against Eastern Kentucky, a team a lot of people think will win the Ohio Valley Conference, a team that beat the Bulldogs pretty good last year. Bulldogs really lost by 20, but it was probably worse than that. But Bulldogs win 71-63. You face a great scorer in Marie Carpenter, averaging 31 points a game. What was the defensive assignments for this game against a player like Carpenter?
Well, what we were doing we were obviously trying to deny her, and we knew she was going to take a lot of shots. She was averaging 30 points coming into the game, and so we wanted to deny her. And then if she did catch the ball, make everything tough and outside of the paint. Obviously we did a great job switching off onto her. Everybody had an opportunity. I think that was something that made things difficult for her. It wasn't just one person that she could get comfortable with. And, we really took her confidence early and really gained momentum from stopping her and forcing their other players to make plays.
All right, Coach, let's look at the highlights of that great win on Saturday night. UNC Asheville 71, Eastern Kentucky 63. As the Bulldogs come out and played well right from the start.
Well, obviously, Brittany Gwynn right there making a pass, and then Paige, whose nickname is now Buzzer Beater, after the Furman hit and, a couple of tip-ins. And we really were super aggressive. As you can see, there's Knuckles again, our freshman from East Wake. She's doing a really nice job for us. But it's the aggressive mentality, really, that's creating a lot of opportunities for us. And Shanice really got going in that game. Her 2 buckets were, from attacking the basket. And then Jada Brayboy, this is our bread and butter right here, our transition game. Again, another buzzer beater from Paige Love. But that's the kind of tempo, Mike, that we've got to see from our kids going forward, because we're much better attacking rather than hesitant.
Bulldogs trailed throughout much of the first half. Have been a great run once again at the end of the first half to take a 4-point lead, and then Bulldogs kept it up in the second half.
And obviously, Mike, we're playing a lot with much more confidence at home than we are on the road, and that's something that, is typical of a young team and something that we really need to adjust and continue to develop confidence on the road because, we're obviously, again, there, Paige with another big shot, really confident offensively at home.
Bulldogs built a 13-point lead. Eastern Kentucky made some runs, but each time the Bulldogs answered and did a nice job from the free throw line as well.
Well, and right here you're going to see Tyler Smith, and she's a perfect example of something that we've been talking about. We've got 12 kids right now on our roster who can come in and contribute, and she hadn't played a minute in the Wofford or Furman game, and comes in, plays 18 minutes, and really contributes a lot for us.
Yeah, just really, again, Coach, just talk about the poise the Bulldogs had, and I know that play was designed, right?
Oh, yeah, buzzer beater right there. Yeah, that's the air ball tip-in,
UNC Asheville 71, Eastern Kentucky 63. Brittany Gwynn 17 points, Paige Love 16 points, but really a team effort.
Well, and that's how it's going to be all year. It's going to be by committee, and obviously Paige and Brittany right now are carrying our scoring load, but I think in the future you're going to see some other players stepping into that role as well. All
right, we'll be back with more on UNC Asheville Bulldog Update right after this timeout.
My name is Lauren Tamayo, silver medalist, London 2012 for track cycling. We started the project of building the home with Home Trust a year and a half before London. My husband designed the house. When I would be on the road traveling, I would be looking at lights and paint colors, help keep my mind off of the training. Some mornings it's definitely hard to go outside when it's early and cold. It's kind of like a whole body hurt, how your legs and how you're breathing and your heart rate's going so high that you feel like your heart's going to just jump out of your chest. But you have to find that motivation. When I'm out there pushing myself beyond the limit, definitely think about coming home to my husband and my family and my new puppy that I have. My home is what centers me, so I can keep pursuing my goals. My Home Trust mortgage fits me.
An equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Welcome back to UNC Asheville Bulldog Update. Mike Gore along with head women's basketball coach Brenda Mock Kirkpatrick. Coach, Bulldogs go on the road Wednesday night, lose a tough one into a mountain rival, Western Carolina 62-51. Bulldogs go off to a great start, up 18-4, but Western cuts lead to 7 and then wins the last 5 minutes. And that's the next step is trying to win on the road, and that's never easy, is it?
No, it's not easy, and especially again with an inexperienced team. And obviously we went in and stole the momentum quickly from Western, but our kids knew going in, and they were well prepared for the fact that Western's a hard-working team, and they're very talented this year. I think, based on Karen Middleton's career, I think this is the best Western team she has had. They're super aggressive and they're super confident, and we knew that going in. And in the second half, we go into halftime 7 points up. In the second half, we didn't make the adjustments we needed to do offensively. We were more hesitant instead of attacking. Defensively, we couldn't defend their penetration, and they were actually driving to the basket. We do run similar offenses, and they were driving to the basket on us, and then getting second shots down the stretch, and really played tougher than we did down the stretch. So tough loss, but a good learning experience for our young team, and we've got to bounce back today against North Carolina Central.
All right, Coach, let's look at the highlights from Cullowhee on Wednesday night at the Ramsey Center. And Shanice Jones getting a 3 early.
Yeah, it was good to see Shanice, really finding her rhythm from the three-point line. Again, she's not been shooting the ball nearly as well as she did against Western, and we anticipate that that'll give her a little bit of confidence. Obviously, we were attacking early there. You see Paige Love creating rotation, Shanice shooting again with confidence, and that's what we're going to need from her down the stretch. And then again, Tyler Smith just contributing. And we have a lot of people in that post position: Leah Warmack, Tyler Smith, Rachel McGirt, and KJ Weaver coming in, making buckets for us. And again, Shanice, she had a great first half and really set the tone. And this is Jeannie Buckner driving to the lane, who does so many little things for us. And there's Brittany hitting one. She had a little bit of a tougher shooting night last night, and we couldn't quite get her going.
And Jeannie knocking down a 3 from downtown. Nice passing here by the Bulldogs, and Warmack with a nice shot.
Yeah, we're doing a little bit better job this year. Obviously, you're seeing a lot more assists than we did get from last year's team, and sharing the basketball a little bit more, and we've just got to be able to convert.
Bulldogs still battling right to the end here, and there's a nice putback by Brittany Gwynn to get the Bulldogs a little closer. But Western Carolina's able to hold on down the stretch and win it 62-51, Coach, and you just put this one behind it and you learn from it, don't you? We do. There's a lot to be learned from this game, in terms of, our aggression level and our ability to sustain that. And also, we were jumped out 18-4 on Western, and being able to play with that kind of lead
that's something we've got to work on. We're not used to that, and we got to learn how to, hit and then also get hit and respond appropriately.
All right, Bulldogs are home today at 2 o'clock against North Carolina Central, a team from the MEAC Conference. Coach, what do you expect from North Carolina Central?
Well, a really aggressive offensive team. They're athletic. They're going to look to push tempo on us. They play a lot of zone, however, in their half-court defense, a little bit more aggressively than most zones. So we're going to have to attack that zone, again, not be hesitant, move the ball around. And obviously we're back in Kimmel, so hopefully we'll shoot the ball well and really crash the boards. That's one thing that we have been consistent with is our rebounding. We did out-rebound Western, and then we're averaging about 48 rebounds per game. So we've got to continue that aggressiveness, and then we just got to grow up and get better, Mike.
North Carolina Central again today at 2 o'clock, then Bluefield on Tuesday at 2 o'clock. I know that all the focus is on North Carolina Central, but is there any little bit you can tell us about Bluefield?
Well, we know those kids are going to go in and play really, really hard. And obviously we've got to play well on Saturday to prepare for that.
All right, Coach, thanks so much for stopping by and talking to us. And we'll see you today at Kimmel Arena at 2 o'clock when UNC Asheville takes on North Carolina Central. We'll have more with UNC Asheville Bulldog Update right after this timeout.
It's the best time of the year. It's time for UNC Asheville Bulldog Basketball. UNC Asheville's legacy is what drives us and brings us to the dawn of a new era. Bring your family to watch exciting NCAA men's and women's basketball. Tickets are affordable. Get your tickets now because it's your city and your team.
Here's what's going on this week in UNC Asheville Bulldog Athletics. Today, the women's basketball team is taking on North Carolina Central at Kimmel Arena. Game time is 2 o'clock. Tickets still available. You can get them at uncabulldogs.com or at the box office at Kimmel Arena. The UNC Asheville women's swim team is on the road at the Highlander Invitational at Radford University. And the men's basketball team is back in action Monday and Tuesday in the 3rd and 4th rounds of the NIT tip-off. Bulldogs take on Rhode Island at 7:30 p.m. on Monday night and then take on East Carolina at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. Your women's basketball team is home also on Tuesday night at Kimmel Arena. UNC Asheville women's team will take on Bluefield. Game time at 7 o'clock. Folks, make your plans to be at Kimmel Arena on Thursday, December 12th for barbecue, beer, and Bulldog basketball. From 5 p.m. until 6:45 p.m., you can enjoy delicious barbecue from area restaurants, taste some of Asheville's finest brews, and then enjoy Bulldog basketball when the men's team plays its home opener against Bluefield at 7 p.m. The price is just $25, and for Bulldog season ticket holders, the price is $15. For tickets to barbecue, beer, and Bulldog basketball, call 828-258-7900, or you can get tickets online at uncabulldogs.com. That's going to do it this week for UNC Asheville Bulldog Update. We'll see you at Kimmel Arena this afternoon.